Hello there, you absolute legends. Emma McElhinney here with Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. I am here to ruin your misconceptions about perimenopause, fat loss, and kick midlife in the face. So if you think your 40s are a drag, think again. Because every week I am going to be stripping down the myths about perimenopause. I'm serving you raw, unfiltered truths about your health and smashing misconceptions about fat loss. And a whole lot more. So if you thought you knew midlife, you don't know the half of it. Aging is inevitable, but getting old is a choice. So buckle up, grab a glass of something yummy, and let's get to it. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. I can't speak today. This is going to be fun. If I can't even get the first sentence out of my mouth. The musings of a bullshit queenager. Right, today is actually a bit of a rant, and I'm going to try. I have written down my thoughts to try and make this a little bit more articulate rather than just like a 20-minute rant. But today's topic is all about vanity and how, well, I don't actually know the and bit, but basically it really boils my piss that vanity in our 40s is deemed this bad thing. And I speak to a lot of women who want to become clients and then they decide that they do want to become a client or they don't want to become a client. But there's a phrase that always stands out to me, and I always feel a bit like a school manual, like, you're entitled to feel like that. It's okay for you to feel like that. And one of the phrases, this sounds really vain, but, or I don't want to be vain, or I don't want you to think that I'm being vain, but I just want to feel nice in my own skin. I just want to feel sexy again. I just want to, look my best. There is nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this at all. This is a good thing that we want to take pride in our appearance. We applaud the younger generation for wearing what they want, doing what they want, having their hair how they want, having their makeup how they want. We applaud them for their boldness and their staying true to themselves and their creativity or their passions or whatever. We can do that too. We're not dead. We're only like 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. We're not dead. We're alive. We're thriving. And, I think a lot of it comes down from a societal point of view where, there's always been this notion of, well, you should start acting your age. And, you shouldn't need to care about what you look like now because, we're all getting older now. And I still hear it now about from women my own age that say, well, you're just supposed to get fat in your 40s like that. You don't have to. Like, who said that? Just because somebody said that once when they were 40 and doesn't mean to say, like, I was talking to a friend the other day, I was like, do you remember when you were at school and people's grannies all had the grey perm? They were only in their 50s. Like, oh my goodness me. Anyway, so caring about your appearance is actually a really positive thing to do. It means that you're staying motivated, you're wanting to look your best. And you know what? I don't think I'm lying when I say looking your best probably is a little bit more harder work than looking your best in your 20s. Although I would argue, like, if you think back to your 20s, like, that we had no GHD hair straighteners. We had pan stick foundation. We had green concealer. I mean, in my 20s, I was still, like, in my teens, I was a little bit of a goth and I used to wear the green concealer, cover it with talcum powder, and then I would literally draw around my eyes with black eyeliner pencil and have dark plum lipstick. Like, so I would probably argue I look better now in my 40s than I did in my 20s. But having that little bit of motivation and that little bit of pride in our appearance keeps us motivated, to maybe go to the gym, to eat better, to drink more water, to put the SPF on, to use the hyaluronic acid. I think that's how you pronounce it. But when you put in a level of effort to yourself, it really pays dividends in terms of, the whole, like, you go out the house with looking, I look after myself and you've got a little bit of pride there and your shoulders are back, tits and teeth, I call it, shoulders back, tits out, big smile. And it gives you that element of self-confidence to say, right, you know what? I am taking pride in my appearance, and that's okay. I am worthy. I deserve to have pride in my appearance. I deserve to look good. Um, so there is an element of, being motivated to do that and pay and reaping the rewards of that. Another thing about, taking pride in your appearance and looking after yourself, it's a form of self-care. Very often, if we're in a bad way, or we're sad, or we're miserable, or we're having a bit of a bitch, or, we're tired, self-care isn't always sitting on the sofa with your dressing gown, crying into a pillow, eating crisps and drinking wine. Actually, that's a pretty poor version of self-care because it's not giving you any form of nourishment at all. Actually, tomorrow is going to make you feel shit. And yeah, we all do it. Um, and that's okay. But let's look at self-care as being something that is giving us nourishment, that is actually looking after ourselves. And that might be exercising, that might mean eating proper food, that might mean getting a good haircut, that might mean getting a massage, that might mean, going to practice your cut crease of an eyeshadow, which I've not mastered, can't do that. I have mastered a winged eyeliner though. Many years ago, I mastered a winged eyeliner. But making yourself a priority, looking after yourself, and that means your appearance is self-care. There is, you know, doing something that makes you look good is going to make you feel good. And that is the true definition of self-care. And a lot of it comes down to confidence as well, I certainly have felt in the past few years that I've lost my, maybe not my spark, because I'm still quite sparky, but we kind of, when we were younger, we've kind of got that youthful ick factor, don't we? A little bit of there's just something different. And I don't I hate the phrase letting ourselves go, but when we get older and we maybe don't look after ourselves, or we just kind of succumb to the whole midlife meh, we lose that spark. And many women tell me they're like, I just want to feel like me again. And it comes down to a bit of an identity thing. But when you start putting the effort back into you, whether that is losing weight, and that's obviously what I'm known for, is helping women lose weight, but whether that is losing weight or, getting our hair redone so it suits our skin, or, suits our eye color, etc. This is just as an aside. I have never, right? This it just reminds me of Bridget Jones. Has anybody had their colours done? I have never had my colours done because I've always reverted back to black, right? And now I'm going, is this right for me? And a really good friend of mine, she wears a lot of pinks and a lot of bright pops, and she's got all our makeup is always stunning on her. And I was like, how did you know that this is just your look? And she's like, oh, I had my colours done and I had a shape analysis. And I was like, a what? Um, so I'm waiting for the results, and the pictures that I sent, you had to send a clear picture of your face to show your skin tone and your eye color and your hair color, and and it's like you had to stand in front of a window so the light reflects really well. And the way I'm looking, I just look like a murderer. I just look so sodden miserable, and I'm wearing a black vest, and I was like, this is going to come back just saying just wear black because it fits in with that murder theme. Anyway, that's a total aside. Um, but yeah, actually doing something for you, and this is something I'm doing for me, but if it comes back saying that my colours are pastels and florals, I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't like pastels and I don't like florals. So anyway, it's fun. It's all fun. When I get my analysis back, I'll let you all know on social media what it's going. But anyway, when you get that spark back, there's not anything that can describe what that spark is. It's an inner confidence. It's a glow. It's a looking at yourself in the mirror and giving yourself that nod, like, yeah, you look good. It's when you're out and people just notice you for no reason. You don't have to be wearing a short skirt or tits out or have wild hair. Just people notice your aura, and that's what looking after yourself does. And it's just such an amazing feeling when you've got that. Another thing I think worth touching on is, and this is quite morose, I suppose, life is far too short. All of you listening are probably in your 40s and your 50s, right? It's called midlife for a reason, right? I hate the phrase midlife, but we have, I can't remember the calculation, but it's something like 10,000 weeks, 8,000 weeks we've got in our lives. Oh, something can do the calculation. But anyway, we're literally halfway through. We are halfway through. There's nothing that we can do. We might live an extra couple of years at the other side, or we might not. Um, but life is far too short to not feel and be your absolute best. And if you think it's vain, who actually gives two shits? It's harmless, it's indulgence, it's you. If anybody cares, then they need to focus on their own life, quite frankly. And like, there's a whole extremes. We know we've seen the extreme Botox, we've seen the extreme lip fillers, we've seen the extreme facial lifts, we've seen the extremes. And, each to their own. We're not going to judge. Just know to see if you're going down the route, like I get Botox, I don't have fillers. I keep asking for lip fillers. My aesthetic practitioner keeps saying no. She's like, your lips are absolutely fine. You do not need them. You're okay. As long as you just keep drinking your water, they'll keep plump. And I'm like, no, okay, but give me fillers. She's like, no, I'm not doing it. But life is too short to not do the things that make you feel good about yourself. And if looking good and feeling good makes you happy, then do it. Call it vanity, call it self-care, call it whatever. Doesn't really matter. Just own it. It's yours. It's your body. It's your face. It's your hair. It's your life. Use it to your advantage. So next time you're thinking, oh, should I go and spend £100 on this hair dye, cut, extensions? I don't know. Oh no, it's just vain. No, it's not vain. It's a part of being who you are. And it's all about, I talk about this reclaiming ourselves and, not succumbing to this midlife myth. And sometimes being vain is that. And sometimes to overcome that, you need to be vain. You need to spend the money on yourself. You need to spend the time on yourself. And not everybody's got the money for the Botox and the hair extensions and the, going to get getting all your clothes through a stylist mail order thing. But do you know what? I am the queen of bargains and sustainability. So I actually don't love clothes shopping. I've never loved clothes shopping, and the reason for that is my body proportions are weird, to say the least, right? Very muscular. I'm quite short. I've got huge shoulders that don't fit in blouses. I've got a tiny waist that jeans just baggy about. I've got massive calves. So I don't love clothes shopping. And hopefully this style analysis is going to help me, with what actually does suit, given my shape. But I've just never loved clothes shopping. It's always too hot. It's always too busy. It's always too loud. But there's a podcast interview a few from last year with Vic, who's a sustainable stylist, and she is all about reusing and recycling clothes. She does, I don't know if she still does it, but she was doing a subscription model so that, she would do a style analysis for you, and then she would send you a monthly box of clothes, and they might be from the charity shop, they might be from Vinted. And see Vinted, oh my God, it's the best place ever. So anyway, it doesn't need to be a lot of money. It doesn't need to be a lot of time. Whacking on some mascara and wearing a pair of high-waisted bum-lifty jeans doesn't take a lot of effort. And guaranteed, if I don't have my mascara on, if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully you can see my eyelashes because I've been using eyelash serum, and oh my goodness me, I actually have real cow eyelashes. Look, if you're watching it on YouTube, we can see me showing off these lashes. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say today about, get vain, call it self-care, call it self-love, call it whatever the hell you want. Own it, love it, love yourself. And that's what it's all about. Just take pride in who you are. And that's not to say there's some days you're not going to be rolling about in your son's trackies and a cardigan with boiled egg, with fried egg on down the front. You probably will. You probably will. But sometimes I like to say to myself, would I go out the house like this if I was in Paris? No, no, you would not. So sometimes it's like, right, okay, I'm going to Tesco. I'm not going to get myself tarted up to go to Tesco, but I'm not going to wear the top with a fried egg down the front. So yeah, that's my version of taking pride in your appearance and vanity. Right, I hope this has helped somebody else today. Go and get your mascara, go and get your lipstick, go and get some blusher, go and get whatever the hell you need, a hair, even just a hairbrush, and take some pride in your appearance. And this is going to be my last phrase: tits and teeth. Until next time, ladies, I will speak to you all soon. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. And just like that, we have spiced up another episode of Piss Off Perimenopause and the musings of a bullshit queenager. Massive shout out and a huge thank you for hanging out with me today. I really hope you've been entertained. And remember, don't be shy, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, keep those heels high and standards higher. Remember, it's all about glowing, growing, and downright owning it. So catch you on the flip side, and don't forget to click the link in the show notes to get your freebie.